Well, hello there everyone, and welcome back to another commentary. Today I decided to commentate on an old video that I wanted to do since early 2016, but never got around to cover it. We are going to be commentating on an episode from a television show called Totally Obsessed, which is a show that covers certain people who are obsessed with certain franchises. The most infamous one is where they cover the guy who's obsessed with PacMan, which is the episode we are going to be looking at right now. Let's watch.
Meet Tim Christ, a man obsessed with Pac-Man.
Well, I'll have to give credit to the narrator. He do be looking like the man obsessed with Pac-Man. Oh, that's right folks, this is the man obsessed with Pac-Man. To hell with all the other people obsessed with the game. Oh no, all of those people are irrelevant. This is the real man obsessed with Pac-Man. You're looking at him right now. Don't look at him for too long. Oh, the shining light might strain your eyes, making you go blind.
After all this time, he's still there, he's still yellow, he's still perfectly round, he's still eating things.
Well, that's a relief to hear. I thought that after 40 years Pac-Man would turn green and form a triangular shape from being left in the fridge for too long, but fortunately those glowing edibles have worked to maintain it.
I feel as if his glowing light is always protecting me and guiding me and making all my enemies blue and edible.
Making my enemies blue and, edible. Should I be concerned? So not only does my man Tim Christ constantly play Pac-Man, but he also cannibalizes those that stand in his way. Barely even a minute in and we already went from 0 to 100 pretty fucking quick, as if the pseudo-religiosity of the character and about how Pac-Man is protecting and guiding you wasn't enough of a red flag.
Behold, I am Pac-Man!
This is the mask that he wears when feasting on his foes.
Pac-Man just gives me this feeling of giddiness, like there's all these tingles running up and down my nipples, and it's just this wonderful thing, like, hey look, it's Pac-Man!
He gets a tingling sensation on his nipples whenever he sees Pac-Man. His nipples tingle whenever he sees Pac-Man. I mean, with all the Pac-Man paraphernalia in the background you'd think he would have an easier time managing his nipple problem.
For the past 20 years, Tim's life has been consumed by Pac-Man.
Ooh, don't say that. Now all of those poems about Pac-Man eating are gonna make Tim Shoebox Chris think that cannibalism is okay.
If you've never played Pac-Man before, it's a little something like this. Look what you've done.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck was all of that shit about? Instead of describing the gameplay as well as the objectives and mechanics behind it, he instead gave a physical representation of Pac-Man using his hands, while emulating the noises with his voice. I mean, if you're going to describe what the game is like to a person who has never played or heard of Pac-Man before, you're going to look like a fucking dumbass. If you're going to make physical gestures and emulating the computer-generated sound effects with your voice, that would make you look like a total lunatic. I should probably start doing it. Fuck it. Next time someone asks me what Halo is, I will wear my Master Chief helmet, pull out an AR-15 and pretend it's an MA5 me, and start unloading rounds on innocent civilians while shouting racial slurs into my mic. Macho shit.
It's like he has a bond with Pac-Man. He has this psychic connection with Pac-Man.
Yeah, whenever I go to my local arcade, I also do the sane and socially acceptable thing of waddling around shouting Pac-Man, 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 Pac-Man. If you keep shouting Pac-Man over and over again, eventually an anthropomorphic Pac-Man arcade machine will grow skinny legs like a cartoon from the 1920s and will come right up to you and say, "Here I am."
I get kind of an oddball little Pac-Man feeling when I get the impression that he may be nearby.
His nipples had detected the sight of a Pac-Man machine nearby.
And there he'll be, you know, his golden yellow light just... Hi, Pac-Man!
And then he runs up to the fucking arcade machine and gropes it in public.
The drool will be there, and he'll be reaching in his pockets. Instead of for a condom, he'll be reaching for tokens.
What a pleasant image you have given me, Greg. I wouldn't be surprised that by some weird admission or Freudian slip he has reached for a condom for the Pac-Man machine. Actually, with a person like that, I highly doubt that he'd be the one bothering with any protection. I think he'd go on and raw dog that coin slot and would rub one out in a couple of seconds.
Quarter. Hello.
How are you?
Might I perhaps ask you for some quarters that I may offer them to the Great Yellow One?
I perhaps ask you for quarters for which I'll offer to the Great Yellow One. Holy fuck, the amount of insanity generated from that sentence alone has transmitted some disease, and for my own good, I can't just go off the deep end and refer back to old 2016 memes to describe it. He's treating the fucking game like it's some deified artifact. You can't make this shit up.
Certainly. Keep the Great Yellow One from going through my wall again, right?
Unfortunately, since Mike lives under the wage system, the Great Yellow One that will go in his wallet won't be his surplus value.
Sorry about that.
See, even he knows that there's something wrong.
He's really hard on the buttons. I feel bad for the machine.
God fucking damn it. Here I was expecting to stand in solidarity with the proletariat, but then they just have to throw in another fucking sex joke in the mix.
You know?
Thank God I'm not a PacMan machine.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, that pizza right over there? Jesus Christ. Refrain from cutting a slice, otherwise Tim will start acting like he just inhaled angel dust. His nipples just can't take it. Anything referencing the Great Yellow One will make a reaction from some hyperventilating skid squad when seeing a JoJo reference look tame in comparison. I'm serious, if you cut even one slice in that pizza, it would be a species-ending event.
Tim has spent $10,000 in quarters alone, playing every day on his lunch break.
10,000 fucking dollars in quarters. Fuck, talk about blowing up your monetary spendings on dispensable and non-essential things, but the only thing is that all I do is just spending it on quarters worth of playing nothing but PacMan.
Yeah, he's possessed.
Yeah, he's possessed. Yeah, absolutely.
You're damn right, Wagey. King Chris, the man obsessed with PacMan, has been possessed by an unknown entity, one that is depicted in various mythological accounts in recent memory. The yellow smiley face is in fact a multidimensional being that has no clip into our universe, and has manifested in people's minds in a variety of different ways. One classic example is with the video game Berserk, where the main antagonist is this maniacal sadist named Evil Otto, a smiley face. Back in the early 80s, a guy was playing a game of Berserk, and received a fatal heart attack after getting eaten by Evil Otto, and has scored a high score of 66,600. In fact, there have been multiple examples of people getting a heart attack from playing the game. While PacMan and Evil Otto come from the same type of highly complex multidimensional species that possesses humans on a neurological and spiritual level, Evil Otto's preferred apparatus is to be used in malevolent ways, while PacMan prefers to be merciful. This can explain why Tim hasn't had a heart attack by now, and PacMan lets him live only if he gives PacMan his 10,000 quarters and collects all types of PacMan merchandising and paraphernalia in exchange for his soul. Evil Otto doesn't do that. He goes ahead and just kills the player and steals their soul anyway. Oh yeah, the yellow peril is coming. Wait.
PacMan! No! Clyde tried to bite PacMan. Clyde bite PacMan! Why Clyde bite PacMan?
PacMan was made for 20 different game systems, and Tim has every one.
And on top of blowing his endings on quarters, he buys every last version of the PacMan video game. I told you guys how malignant this situation is. He must buy every last PacMan video game out there, buy all of the versions of PacMan, Super PacMan, Miss PacMan, Pac and Pal, Junior PacMan, Baby PacMan, Pacland, and Pacmania, lest he either continues living under the protection and prosperity gospel from the deal he made with the smiley-faced multidimensional entity that is called PacMan, or face severe consequences. Do you honestly think that humans have analogously came up with these smiley face circles by chance? Do you honestly think Toru Iwatani, when he was cutting a slice of pizza with his pals, he looked at the pizza and independently thought of the color yellow without any subconscious manipulation in behalf of outside metaphysical forces?
It's very frustrating trying to play Pac-Man with Tim.
King Chris has a wife. King Chris has a wife. Now you see the PacMan prosperity gospel in full effect. If Tim hasn't accepted the deal that PacMan had received to him, he would have been some dead and wage slave to capital. But you see, now Tim has a wife he can play PacMan with. He has a fancy PacMan car. He has a house, food, water, PacMan clothes, a garden that exclusively grows fruits from the PacMan video game, including relaxing starships and keys, etc. He lives a self-sustaining life. The only way Tim can perpetuate this prosperity gospel that he bet his soul on is if he were to feed the PacMan machine some coins for Lent. You incels keep complaining about how you hate women for not sleeping with you, but remember, thanks to the PacMan prosperity gospel, Tim was able to obtain a girlfriend who would play PacMan with him. What the fuck is your excuse?
You have to avoid them. The trick is to not run into them when they try to eat. You see, game over. Now you don't get to play anymore, and it's all me. You get to watch me play.
It's just a total exercise in futility for me because I'll be waiting 15 minutes for my turn.
PacMan wants us just, ha! PacMan eat you now! Ah! How's that?
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, why? No, don't cry.
The Unitarian PacMan prosperity gospel instills that you shall not cry. PacMan will wipe all your tears once you give all of your quarters for Lent, as well as a few condoms in the slot machine.
Okay, hold on.
In 2001, Tim put his passion for PacMan to music in a song called PacMan is Naked and So Should You.
PacMan is naked, and so should you. What a title. Only thing missing is to paint yourself yellow.
Are you ready for Batman? It's time to go!
For the record, that is not what the music sounds like. It sounds like this.
It's time to PacMan! The best way to PacMan is to use the game. You move the joystick and you eat the dot. Eat all the dots, you win another maze. And mazes are the place where PacMan goes.
Not sure why the creators of this TV show replaced the music with another song. Copyright perhaps? If that's the case, then they shouldn't have any problem with asking for Tim's permission to use his song. Not to mention, they are using another copyrighted song as well, so what the fuck?
What's wrong with you? Tim, what's wrong with you?
No, Greg, what's wrong with you? Have you accepted the smiley face interdimensional peril revealed as PacMan into your life? Perhaps ask yourself if your vessel is already in possession of any other round yellow smiley-faced interdimensional entities, the likes of which that I myself am a part of. You've heard of PacMan fever? Forget that. Eventually the universe will have to succumb to yellow fever. Fuck.
The best way to PacMan is to use the game!
The best way to PacMan is to use the game. You don't say. It seems like the only way to play PacMan is by playing PacMan. Damn, this is so complex.
You move the joystick and you eat the dots!
And by dot, you mean 244 dots. The song's a banger though.
There should be counselors involved.
Someone needs to burn that fucking flag. Oh come on Greg, our pal Tim is having the time of his life. You're just a hater. If only you accepted the PacMan prosperity gospel you wouldn't be such a div and earned. All you need to do is buy our books about Dianetics, have an auditing session and sign up for Seorg. We want your money.
Sometimes, you just gotta bring the message to the people. Occasionally I'll be driving around and I'll pass somebody who doesn't look like he has invited the full glory of PacMan into his life, and I feel the need to, convey to him somehow that he really should. PacMan! PacMan! PacMan!
Yup, gotta rev up that devotion for the PacMan prosperity gospel. He gets in his car, drives around in front of some supermarket mainly comprising of wage cucks in their late 40s and old people, and starts screaming PacMan. You've heard of the law of attraction? Your words will go into the atmosphere and manifest in it like putting seasoning in soup, so start screaming PacMan in people's faces and you'll see the results unfold.
Lest the public forget about PacMan, Tim goes out every week to remind them. PacMan! He won't rest until the world shares his enthusiasm for PacMan.
I simply profess the glory of the Golden One who is round and eats things. It is written that you shall play PacMan!
Source?
And only then shall you know the glory of PacMan!
I'm sorry, but what did he say? I can't understand what he's saying. What? Fun fact, this is exactly what the 12 apostles of Jesus did when converting the locals to the Christian religion. They all went into their cars, don't ask why they had cars back then, or alternatively they went on their fucking flying carpets, because it's the Middle East, they all fly on flying carpets, and they all pulled out their megaphones, yes they also had megaphones back then, shut the fuck up, and started screaming Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus fucking Christ, baby Jesus, Jesus Christ, I stubbed my fucking toe Jesus. It's also what the conquistadors did. While exploring the New World, while riding on their horses they pulled out their megaphones and started screaming Jesus fucking Christ on a unicycle to the indigenous peoples in the Andes, but they all started disappearing somehow. Must have been the fentanyl.
It can be extremely embarrassing. When we're driving down the road, people are standing there and they're like, PacMan?
All before PacMan, feel his glory! Hear the glory of PacMan! See PacMan!
No!
See PacMan!
If cameras existed back in the 600s, this is exactly how the Abbasid Caliphate and therefore Islam expanded its territory.
I think these people are going to look back on their lives. They're going to be lying on their deathbed thinking, my God, I have squandered my life. Think of all the times I played things that weren't PacMan.
I see Chris is following one of the oldest commandments in the PacMan polycule policy. Thou shalt not have any video game reference before me.
Say PacMan! Say PacMan! And now it's too late. PacMan!
Play PacMan before it's too late. No one will know when the Son of Man will return.
It's adorable. In a very disturbing way, it's adorable.
I'm Fred Willard, and that's it for Totally Obsessed. Traveling to the farthest reaches of obsession and light years beyond.
Holy shit, is that another fucking grounded videos is funny reference? Anyway, the video is over. Thank you Tim Shoebox Chris in spreading the white rabbit mantra. In all seriousness, oh, this is not an attack video in Tim himself. I'm pretty sure that he is a pretty fun person to be around. God bless him. He also has a YouTube channel for those inclined. You're doing God's work in spreading the yellow cancer. Anyway, make sure you send your quarters and condoms to your local PacMan machine to actualize the process of the PacMan prosperity gospel. See you next time.
Macaroon.